Center.
Hey, happy birthday to Jim Brown and Michael Jordan, 58 years young. That got us to thinking about some of the best moments in the MJ era. And for me, it's his last shot in a Bulls uniform. Everyone knew he was getting the ball in the closing seconds. It didn't matter. Brian Russell, sorry, didn't see that push-off. He closed out the Jazz and capped off a career in Chicago where he was 6-0 in the finals. I don't count the Wizards games.
No?
That was his last shot.
Just this? That's all you count?
That was his last shot.
That's fine. Well, my favorite is the Shrug game. I will never forget this. 1992 NBA Finals, Game 1. You see Cliffy trying to guard him. He's just shrugging, just like, it just keeps raining threes. 6 threes in the first half. And the backstory on this is amazing that he's shrugging at Magic.
Yeah, and Magic's on the broadcast,
Yep.
right? And then the night before, we found out in the Last Dance where he was getting compared to Clyde,
Yep.
and he told Magic, "I'm going in." And
he did.
I mean, it was a viral moment before we had viral moments, right?
All I
Everybody-
remember was for days later, I was just shrugging at everything. Make a good dinner, do my laundry.
That's it for this edition of Sports Center. Stephen A. Smith is next.
You see that beautiful city right there? The city of brotherly love. No doubt. And a statue of Rocky, a champion. A champion. Fictional, doesn't matter. Champions are champions. And that is the Wells Fargo Center, home of the Philadelphia 76ers. Tonight, the 76ers host the Rockets and will get Joel Embiid back after missing Monday night's game with a back injury. However, Ben Simmons will miss the game due to what Doc Rivers calls a stomach illness. Doesn't matter. Rockets, Sixers, Sports Center. Up next. Let's go. Ahead on this can't-miss edition of Sports Center with yours truly. With the Sixers sitting atop the Eastern Conference, Michael Wilbon examines if Embiid and Simmons are finally reaching a championship level in Philly. Plus, Steph Curry's hot start has him in company with Michael Jordan. But where does the Warriors start now stand in the MVP discussion? And LeBron pumps the brakes on the Nets' big threes place in history. How the King is keeping Kyrie, KD, and Harden in check before tomorrow night's showdown.
Have we forgot about KD, Steph, and Clay already?
Welcome to Sports Center with Stephen A. Smith. Presented by Mountain Dew.
The Philadelphia 76ers are searching for their first NBA title since 1983. The franchise is hoping in year 4 of Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, they can finally end that drought. With Embiid playing at an MVP level, Doc Rivers as head coach, and Tobias Harris and Seth Curry having big seasons, the question is, will they get enough from Simmons offensively to get them over the hump? In their first year together, Embiid and Simmons showed their potential, winning 52 games. Philly's first 50-win season since reaching the NBA Finals in 2001. The following year, Philly brought in Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris to play alongside their young core. But the season ended in disappointment at the hands of Kawhi Leonard's buzzer beater in Game 7 of the conference semis. Despite high expectations last season, Embiid, Simmons, and the 76ers never found their stride. They were ultimately swept in the first round by Boston, and head coach Brett Brown was fired after the season. Now, in their first year under new head coach Doc Rivers, Embiid is in the MVP discussion, and the 76ers currently have the best record in the Eastern Conference. Oh, I couldn't wait for this. Let's bring in the one and only Mike Wilbon. You sounded very, very sure of yourself in picking the Philadelphia 76ers to come out of the East when the season started, Mike Wilbon. Do you still feel that way now, sir?
Listen, Stephen A., I said that before the trade sent James Harden to Brooklyn. I'll stick with it. I'm not going to abandon my dear Chicago buddy Doc Rivers and the Sixers at this point. But look, you can't watch the Brooklyn Nets without saying, hold on, this is a different animal with James Harden. They were just here in Phoenix last night. I paid as close attention to that game as possible. And you look at the Nets and you think, okay, who has enough defense to deal with them in a 7-game series? I think Philly right now is the only team that has enough defense, I know you disagree, to deal with Brooklyn, to slow them down a little bit, to get some timely stops against them. So I'm staying with Philly, but I understand that James Harden and what he is doing specifically, KD's the best of those 3 players, but what James Harden has done as the facilitator, as the point guard, relieving Kyrie of that pressure, which he doesn't seem to want to deal with, James Harden has been brilliant Stephen A. And
Mike
so,
Wilbon.
yes, I'm slowing my roll. I'm slowing my roll just a little bit.
Mike Wilbon, I want you to know your little brother right here does have videotape of you saying that about Philly after Harden arrived in Brooklyn, but I won't get on you too much about it. What is it going to take in order for Philadelphia to beat Brooklyn come postseason time? What would have to happen?
Well, you know what has to happen? I mean, Ben and Embiid, they have to be great. And there's none of this, we're in our early veteran stage and we need a year. No. They need to be great this spring together consistently.
Okay. I got you. I'm listening to you talk. You're not going anywhere. You stick around right there because I got more questions for you, Mike Wilbon. I got somebody else to get to as well who was sticking out his chest just as much as you were. But before I do that, let me say this. Tomorrow night, we'll see the first meeting between the Nets and the Lakers this season. Both teams are coming off wins last night. Without Kyrie and KD, James Harden dropped 38 as the Nets came back from a 24-point deficit to beat the Phoenix Suns. Meanwhile, without Anthony Davis, who has injuries to his calf and Achilles, LeBron James scored 30 in a win over Minnesota. Dave McMenamin asked LeBron about the Nets last night.
Is there a team that you can compare to in league history having that much offensive firepower on the same group?
Have we forgot about KD, Steph, and Clay already?
We welcome in Big Perk himself, the one and only Kendrick Perkins. Now, Nets, Lakers. What does that game mean tomorrow night in your estimation, Big Perk?
Look, although the Lakers are going to be missing Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant won't be playing tomorrow night, this is a statement game. I don't care what no one says. This is a statement game for Kyrie Irving and a statement game for LeBron James. You've been hearing the chitter-chatter back and forth through multiple podcasts. Kyrie Irving saying that, KD finally is that guy on the side of me that I could trust to get a bucket. And LeBron James responded. LeBron James got this game circled. You best believe he's going to be in his best package come tomorrow night.
He don't have any help. He doesn't have Anthony Davis. They're not fully loaded, Perk.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. They still got one of the best rosters in the league. That's why you added a Dennis Schroeder and a Montrezl Harrell, two guys that are capable for going for 20. And by the way, I've been very critical of Kyle Kuzma, but he's been balling lately, okay? The Lakers are still deep, and they still have enough to compete with a Brooklyn Nets minus a Kevin Durant.
Compete on what level? I mean, you saying acting like, excuse me, they still in the championship picture without Anthony Davis. You're not trying to say that, are you, Big Perk?
No, come on now, Stephen A. You taught me better than that. I'm not going to just jump out there like that. But what I'm saying is they got enough to get this win tomorrow in this primetime game. They got enough to beat the Brooklyn Nets without a Kevin Durant. I know that much.
All right, you stay right there. You don't go anywhere because you, just like Wilbon, I got on Wilbon, I got some stuff to get on you about. Don't you go anywhere. You stay right there. I got to sit up there. I heard Russell Westbrook just arrived at the arena. Oh, my Lord. What, is that a raincoat? A dress? What is that? What is that? Is that a crossing light? What is it? Oh, my Lord. Russell Westbrook. He never ceases to amaze us sometimes with the wardrobe. I swear he doesn't. I swear he doesn't. Still ahead, the Sixers will be without Ben Simmons tonight. But Doris Burke is standing by to detail if Simmons' breakout performance Monday night is a sign of what's to come in Philly. Plus, with Steph Curry cooking up, Michael Jordan-type numbers to start the season. Where does the Warrior star stand in the MVP race right now?